Well, namaste, everybody. It's Thor Sandalwood, and we are going to be looking at the October 2021 predictions using Vedic astrology. And if you guys are new to my channel, I use the sidereal zodiac, which we use in Vedic astrology, which is the astrology of ancient India. So check that out if you guys aren't familiar with it. This month is going to be a crazy month, and I do believe that this is the month where we're going to buckle up because we have a lot of planets going direct this month. We also have a lot of things happening, especially, since I'm American, a lot of things are happening right now in the United States. We have, first of all, there's a lot of division happening right now. There's labor shortages. Labor shortages I even heard in the United Kingdom. They can't find enough workers. And then they have these requirements that not everybody is okay with. So that's what's happening right now. We also have the fact that the United States, the debt ceiling, basically needs to be raised by October 18th, or else the US government will run out of money. This is all on the news. If they don't make this debt ceiling raise or get the money by September 30th, they have till October 18th to come to some sort of deal with the Republicans and Democrats on making this deal. I think this is going to flavor the whole month, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute. And I think there's going to be a last minute, I'm talking like October 17th or 18th type of deal, because we have Mercury retrograde this month. As you guys are aware, probably many of you, Mercury went retrograde September 27th, just a couple of days ago. And it's going to be retrograde all the way till October 18th. And of course, it's going to be retrograde partially in the sign of Libra, going back in the sign of Virgo. Virgo's sixth house. So I also think we're going to see a labor movement this month. Sixth house represents the workers, the service class. So I think we're going to be seeing that this month. And this labor shortage, I don't think is going away anytime soon. Now, one of the things that I didn't bring up in last month's predictions, which I brought up in previous months, is you guys remember that transiting Rahu is in the sign of Taurus. And Rahu is going backwards through the signs. Oh, hello, Chris. So Rahu's going backwards through Taurus, and it's in these nakshatras. Now, in Vedic astrology, nakshatras are star constellations. Okay, so there's 27 nakshatras in the Vedic zodiac. So, we have on September 19th, Rahu entered Kritika nakshatra, which Kritika nakshatra, it edges on Taurus sign and goes into Aries, because remember, it's going backwards. And Kritika is like an intense nakshatra. I mean, if somebody had a rising sign or an ascendant in Kritika, I would say that this person could be a war general. This is a constellation of war. And especially thinking that Rahu is going to be entering into Aries in September of 2020, or sorry, April of 2022, we are going to be really seeing there could be a possibility of war drums, something happening internationally with war and with conflict, because that's what Kritika and then Aries represents. Aries obviously is the god of war, if you guys remember. Now, this Rahu entering Kritika is important. If we go back 18 and a half years, the last time Rahu entered Kritika was 2003, and that's when we entered our US, not we, international audience, but the US went and started the Iraq War. Okay, so that was 2003. So we see how there already was this war drum kind of thing happening. And so we're in this really sharp energy right now. Kritika represents the razor. It represents getting us to the truth of things. So we're going to have a lot of truth come out during these next 6 months or so. Rahu's going to be transiting Kritika all the way till July 12th, 2022. There's going to be a lot of truth, okay? Cutting to the core of the BS. That's what Kritika is about. So there's going to be no more BS. People are going to be very aware of the truth of the matter of things. So we have that flavoring this month of October. Rahu just entered Kritika, and we know we have a lot of labor problems and so forth, and a lot of people angry about different requirements that are happening right now. And so I think this month is going to be the month where we're just going to see a lot of protests. We're going to see a lot of unrest, general unrest, people not happy. You got to remember Mars and Sun are also transiting in the sign of Virgo all the way most of this month, okay? And Virgos represents sixth house. Sixth house represents conflict and things like that. Now, the Sun and Mars are actually going to conjunct. Conjunct means they're going to be, pretty much aligned with each other on October 7th, which is the first week of October. And when Sun conjuncts a planet, Sun tends to overexcite the planet, and it's going to be overexciting Mars. So the first week of October, second week of October, we should expect a lot of anger, not only just in the world, but also you might notice in your personal lives that people are easily excitable. They're easily triggered because whenever sun is like, imagine a water pot boiling over. When you were a kid making macaroni and cheese and you had the noodles and the pot would boil over, that's exactly what's happening with Sun exciting the planet Mars. Or any planet. Really, it tends to over-exaggerate. It tends to bubble things to the surface very quickly. What I believe this is going to do, I think there's going to be, and I learned about this just recently, is there's a general strike. And apparently this is something they do quite often, a lot of political movements. But in the United States, there's a general strike happening on October 15th. I think, usually when you hear about these things, usually nothing comes of it. It usually kind of just boils over and nothing happens. I think this month and in the end of 2021, this last quarter, I think there's a real possibility that we might see a real labor movement, the likes of which we haven't seen in a century in the United States. So I think there's going to be a rather large-scale labor movement. And I think that it's much needed at this point. There's a lot of inequality at this time. There's a lot of people making it really, really a lot of money. And then there's a lot of millennials, especially my age, late 30s, early 40s, people that they're finding it hard to buy housing, to live that dream, that American dream that they were sold when they were, a lot younger. They're finding it's very difficult. So that's why you hear about a lot of millennials or a lot of Gen Z still living with their parents. They can't afford to get a house. So I think this is needed. It's needed to discuss this thing. It's needed to bring a national conversation about this. We also have Saturn going direct, guys, October 11th. And by the way, hello, Agatha. Hi, Chris. Hi, everybody. Hi, Seeker from Sydney. Nice to see you guys. Saturn's going direct October 11th. So that's going to be another important day. And remember, when a planet's retrograde, events tend to, it's almost like the planet's not catching up with how fast the Earth is moving forward, but, the retrograde planet's working backwards, so it's not catching up with the events that it needs to catch up with. So I think Saturn going direct in October 11th, it's really going to signal, it's going to be the consequences. I think this is the month of consequences. And I think that, we're going to be experiencing a lot of those karmic consequences of the last 2 years. And we're going to start seeing a lot of unrest. A lot of people, they feel like they've been holed up in their houses. They haven't been able to leave. So we're going to see a lot more unrest there. Sorry. And Saturn represents government. So I do feel that the last quarter of, since Saturn's going to be going direct, I feel the last quarter of 2021, I feel like there's a strong potential for lockdowns, further lockdowns, because Saturn's moving forward and Saturn doesn't want to repeat, the mistakes of the past. There's a lot of light workers, psychics, and other astrologers. We're all kind of having this consensus that we do feel there's going to be more lockdowns and they're going to be more draconian. They're going to be more severe this time. It's almost going to be like Saturn's going back in time and reliving what happened 15 months ago. So I feel like there's going to be pretty severe lockdowns, okay? And I know it sounds very ominous. Jupiter's going to go direct on October 18th. as well. So we're going to have a lot of planets that are retrograde when the planet starts off. And then throughout the month, we're going to have Saturn go direct, Jupiter direct, and then we're going to have Mercury go direct on October 18th. So you guys remember in the United States, the U.S. looks like if they don't make the debt payment by September 30th, they're going to be in default, and they have 18 days till October 18th to make that debt payment, okay? Well, I think there's going to be a lot of turmoil. I do foresee a government shutdown, but I do think they're going to make a last-minute deal because Mercury is going to go direct October 18th, the day that the government's going to run out of money. And Mercury is kind of like reassessing everything. Mercury is going to be in the sign of Virgo. And remember, sixth house represents debt. It can represent national debt. So I feel like there's going to be a restructuring or something. They're going to put some sort of agreement probably to raise the debt ceiling. A lot of people are mad about it because they feel like, every year we have this government shutdown and they keep kicking the can down the road. And it definitely feels like they're doing that, doesn't it? So I do feel like there's going to be a lot of labor problems, but I do feel like last minute they're going to, at least I feel like they're going to be able to get a last minute deal. So a lot of people, they think the sky's going to fall with this. We're going to have a lot of turmoil, I think, earlier in the month, but I think they're going to come to a deal. Now, one of the issues that's going to really set off this last quarter that we're going into, this last quarter of the year, is you guys might not be aware of this, but usually we don't use the outer planets in Vedic astrology, but I use them as a guide, and there's some other astrologers like Joni Patry who also uses the outer planets of Uranus, Pluto, and Neptune, okay? So I like to use them as kind of a gauge. And we got basically Uranus and Pluto are going to be squaring each other, and a square is when they're 4 houses apart, okay? And remember, Pluto's in Capricorn, which is the 10th house of the natural zodiac. So Uranus represents kind of innovation, new things, revolutions kind of things. And then Pluto also represents, basically a total reorganizing of things. So the fact that Pluto takes 20 years to go through a sign, and it's in this 10th house of Capricorn, which represents almost a new formation of government happening within the next 20 years. So I feel like, this Uranus-Pluto square is happening the last quarter of 2021. So I feel like that pressure, a lot of times during this square, there's going to be earthquakes. There's going to be volcanoes, okay? We already have the volcano happening in La Palma, which is in the Canary Islands. And that volcano is getting bigger as last time I checked. So I feel like we're going to have a lot more of these really, really catalyzing events this month. So it's almost like Uranus electrifies things. Like sudden shocking things comes from Uranus. So, I mean, we have the perfect storm happening. They're squaring in the Vedic zodiac. So we have almost a perfect storm happening. We have Rahu and Kritika. We have Saturn going forward again in the 10th house. We have Uranus-Pluto square. So we have all these things happening that are indicating the chart that I looked at. Don't you mean Saturn-Uranus square? I could be wrong on that. I'll have to check. We have a square. Let me check on that really fast, guys, because I could be wrong. I have a person in my chat saying that it's a Uranus-Saturn square. Let me go back to my transit calculator here. I do see with the Vedic zodiac, at least with my Kala software, I do see that it's a Pluto-Uranus square. Or sorry, guys, no. Sorry, I'm going to fix that. It's a Uranus K2 square. Uranus K2 square. Okay. That was a typo from me. It's a Uranus K2 square, and I think that's really going to shake up the month. Thank you for bringing that up, by the way, Agatha. Okay, Uranus K2. So the issue with the K2, the Uranus K2, is K2 is in the sign of Scorpio right now, which is a very volatile sign. So we got Rahu transiting Kritika, K2's in Scorpio. And remember what K2 does is K2 tends to break things apart. Okay. So you are right. K2 Uranus. Well, anyways, K2 Uranus are going to square for the rest of the month. So there's going to be, I know, DK's like, wow, Uranus and K2, that's even worse. So anyways, however, the Pluto, just so you guys know, the Pluto square, Pluto is still transiting Capricorn. So we do know that, that's a long-term transit where we're seeing government transformations. But yeah, Uranus K2 definitely didn't make it better. K2 tends to disintegrate things, so I see it as not a great situation. So this is what I have seen for the month. I do see a lot of problems. With K2 being in Scorpio, this is bringing up a lot of deeply, I feel like the anger point. There's so much anger around the world right now, and people are just really on edge. At least, when I'm in the United States, when I'm traveling, I feel like people are really on edge and they're at that breaking point, right? So that's what I see for the month. I see problems. I see labor problems. And I feel like if there's not lockdowns this month in the United States, if there's not lockdowns for October, I feel like November, December, we're going to see them. I feel like we're not gonna skate away without some of those. I feel like that's definitely on the agenda here with the planets. So guys, I want to let you guys know that if you guys want a reading, please check out my information below my website. You can purchase a reading through my website. And for fall, I'm doing a special fall special where you can get 20% discount on readings. And that's going to be for the month of October and the month of November. So you just type in Thor and you get a 20% discount, which is amazing. So that is my predictions, you guys, for the next month. And I'm actually going to be revamping the channel. So I'm actually planning on doing a few chart readings during the next month. And I took a hiatus for a while. I was doing some sadhana and I was doing some meditation and really doing some of that shadow work. And so we're getting ready for this new age, right? We're getting ready for this new energy to come online. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. And I will be seeing you very soon. Check out my TikTok channel too. I have like 57,000 followers on TikTok. And also, I just wanted to say, guys, I have 1,000 followers now on YouTube. So I'm very, very subscribers. So I'm very, very excited about that. You guys, thank you very much for being here. Namaste. And I will see you in the next one.